By popular request, we're going to be doing top 10 pickups for long-term value, in my opinion, from Ghosts from the Past, because talking about top 10 value cards is a guesstimation to see where things will go. Wasn't up to the audience's standards. So, you guys like penny stonks, hopefully with long-term gains? Let's dig on into this, shall we? Don't beg 30% of you guys have not smashed the living crap out of that subscribe button. Smash it so we can move up the 100K ladder. Alright, number one on our list of pickups from this set is going to be 9 Pillars of the Yang Zhang. Now, the reason why I list this on the penny stocks slash particular gains department here is the actual affected value of this card depends on a ban list. If Tudang Long Dragon comes back off of a list, you will see, particular variations of this card gain value as players kind of freak out. But this is also going to be dependent on time as well. We will genuinely probably see this card kind of start to space out a little bit over time as things further go out of print for this. But once again, this card, at least in my opinion, is very ban list driven. And depending on where those factors go on that list, like I said with Tudang Long Dragon, possibly coming back at a later date, yeah, I think this card can spike up to a couple bucks. I'm expecting these to be 25, 30 cents on release, and this would be something I'm probably going to play the penny stonks on myself in terms of value. Number 2 on our list here is actually going to be the Fossil Warrior Skull Knight. Now, honestly, this is probably going to be one of the higher pickup things in this set, strictly because of the fact that it has that extra deck banish effect. Now, the original prints for these things were like, what, 20, a little bit under 20 at certain points in their life, but once again, you got to ask yourself, all right, an extra deck resource, Anintis went up over time. This doesn't see as much popular play as Anintis does, but those rogue deck options are going to look at this card and they're going to go, oh, right, we can give this a shot. So, once again, if these come out of the gate at 50 cents or something like that, I'd keep up a couple playsets of these just for the potential of when they turn to $1, $2, you can be like, oh, well, that's really good. And that's what I really think will turn out of this set in terms of like good playability. You gotta love extra deck resources here. Number 3 on our list here is going to be all of the Plunder Patrol stuff. I know it's a little bit of a cop-out to like throw this all together because some of it will be better than others in the long term here, but if the entire Plunder Patrol comes out here at quarters to upwards to 50 cents at stuff, minus lice, or, some of the other stuff that hasn't got, like, the more elegant reprints in a set like this, then yes, I would want to play penny stonks with this set. I mean, considering the fact that Plunder Patrol was running around very rapidly, before Albaz got the chance to kind of storm on into the metagame here, yeah, I would give this entire engine a shot and go, alright, maybe this is something that I could particularly mess around with in terms of the stonk department, because that's really what the whole point of this video is where we can look at cheap cards and go, all right, can we get a turnover on this? Is there a possibility of, this doing well in going up in value? And the answer is always yes for this. Next up here is the Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon Overlord. Now, the only real thing you care about this is an overlay material on top of a Rebellion, or you just overlay it on top of your Rebellion Exceed monster. Alright, now in combination with Dark Rebellion, you technically use the effect, swing over, overlay this on top of it, and then congratulations, you get to make a Zeus. That's the only real thing I get out of this card, but rank 4 decks get an extra material on Zeus while stepping through this. Yes, I know you can get that with Zodiac as well, but it's another resource management tool in the little toolbox that's already been present for a little while. So now you get a different line of play here that can possibly just push massive life points and then give you a nice little adjustment for what can come out of this. So I do think that this card's not going to be very expensive at all. Alright, next up is going to be Rare Fish. A hollow printing of Rare Fish. Okay, so here's the thing with this. Now, water with the whole Ready Fusion thing, I don't think, unless for whatever reason that these are short print, that these will be a lot of money. But genuinely looking at vanilla fusion monsters over time, this is probably going to be a very, very long-term play. You're probably looking at 3 to 4 years on this one, but this does pretty much fit the bill to be one of those cards that will exceed people's expectations and go into the gain department as per usual. I keep an eye on all of the generic fusions at this point in time, just to be a little bit safe in that department. But with that being said, yeah, the one I would definitely keep an eye on most is Rarefish, but that does not mean that the other vanilla fusions in this set might not meet the particular expectations as well, because they definitely can. Next up here is the Wandering King Wildwind. Now, if you guys don't know about this thing, its original print was redonkulous, man. So if you control a Fiend monster or a Fiend tuner with 15 or less attacks, special summon this card from hand. If you attempt this, you can have special summon from their deck for the rest of this turn, except for Synchro monsters. And then during your main phase, except the turn, this card sends the graveyard and banish this card from your graveyard, add a Fiend tuner with 15 or less attack from your deck to your hand. This is literally the center point of the Jack Atlas character deck, honestly. The fact that it's a level 4 that beams itself on out, that you can step through and make, you know, whatever synchro plays that you want to make, and then on the next turn gives you a search is really freaking good. Alright, but once again, when the original copies of this were so much, I also think, like, if this copy spins out at like 25 cents to 30 cents, this actually has a good long-term hold to potentially hit the $75 mark over time, just because the previous version was so darn high. Alright, next up here is going to be Mardel Generator Boss of Light. Plant support. If you've learned anything about plants over the last few years, it's always the fact that something that has to do with the deck will suddenly spike up in value. Well, the fact that Mardel was also generator support and plant support really kind of tipped the scales for this thing. Alright, also, you know, they were a little bit harder to get in the original print, but once again, if this thing storms out of the gate at less than $1, I would be keeping an eye on these, because this thing in a couple years can double, triple in value, as long as it doesn't get another additional reprint. Because like I said, anytime plant support is involved in something stupid, guess what, everybody? We're going to the moon in terms of value. But like I said, I think the set's got a lot of good penny stonks in the long department, just on a lot of cards that are reprinted that a lot of people are like kind of scared in touching. Next up here is Neos Kluger. Now, Neos Kluger is going to be strictly a collector's card, but I'm very curious to know, it's kind of my wild card on the set. This is going to be a very long-term one, but it's going to depend on its price point. When I say its price point, if these come out of the gate at like $5 to $7, I wouldn't say touch them. If they come out at, you know, $1, you know, 50 cents, then I'd be picking these up all day, because it's hero support. And once you get a year and a half down the pipeline from this set, you know, I'd be probably 2 years, honestly, that this is one of those cards that you'd be like, oh crap, like this is really gaining a lot of support. And that's definitely what you could see here. But this is, once again, seems to be a lot of the theme here is very, very long term. A lot of people want their free chicken tendies right up front. That doesn't seem to be really the case of what's going to happen here too much. Alright, now next one here should have a decent return depending on where these come out. It's going to be Vision Hero Forest. Considering the fact that every hero deck in Modern Era wants to play this card because it's really just that good, literally giving you, what is it, free extensions, giving the ability to step through increase. Yeah, it locks you into certain things, but I mean, you do what you gotta do to be able to play this. Like, unfortunately, they designed this card very well in the depths of what it was supposed to do for the deck. So that's definitely one thing I want to say here is, I think overall, depending on where this card goes, you might be seeing these rotating over at $3 to $4 in a good couple years. Once again, it's going to depend on where this comes out of the gate at, but I am expecting this to be one of the more sought after cards in the set, so free chicken tendies might not be that obtainable on this one, depending on, once again, where things come out of the gate here, because, yeah, good hero support, by the way. Like I said, I think this is way better than Kluger ever could be. Alright, and then the next one here is Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon. Now, the reason why I have this really high on the list is actually for the structure deck. We've learned in the past that hollow upgrades of things, okay, well, first of all, I do think that this is going to come out and get a reprint in the structure deck. I'm going to be completely honest with you there on that. Now, depending on where these settle in price at the very beginning, hollow upgrades of things come structure deck time always looking very, very nice. All right. I would say that you've got a good pipeline here to kind of gauge and see where things will go in terms of the Crystal Beast structure deck. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, this looks like a very nice pickup to go in combination with that Crystal Beast structure deck. So, fingers crossed that we get some good eats to make this being the grand penny stonk of the set really worthwhile. So, you guys agree with this list? Please leave a comment about too much. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. And I will see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.